Hello, everyone. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I hope you guys are ready for the weekend. Your numerology number today is 2 and 1, or 21, or 12, or of course 3. So those may have some spiritual significance for you this week, and it may synchronistically pop up in your world. Before the reading today, I had to actually take a little bit of time. I was a little upset by something that I watched this morning, which is Escaping Twin Flames on Netflix. I saw the first episode. People have been sending it to me and, wanting me to watch it, asking me questions about it. And I think it's kind of important to address those of us that have been in the twin flame community for a while, especially those of us that are, teachers, have known about this for a long time. And, any teacher that's worth their weight in salt knows that your student that is sitting across from you is also your teacher, and you are their student as well. It's never one-sided. And the community has known for a while now that there are certain teachers within the twin flame community that either knowingly or unknowingly are not necessarily here for the right reasons. It's more about personal gain rather than, and power and control and monetary gain, rather than it is about the message and the spiritual calling that we all have to share the knowledge that we have with others. I live in a state where cults are known to exist and have been for quite a long time. And I don't like them. I have a strong aversion to anyone placing themselves as a higher source of divinity over anyone else. We are all here. We are all equal. We are all, each other's teachers and students simultaneously. And, if we are given any kind of a blessing to be able to turn around and help others, should never be taken advantage of. And anyone that does that, I would ask you to, of course, use your discernment and do your best to remember that you are connected to Source, and this is an inner journey, and you are your own guru. You are your own master. And anyone that tries to place themselves above you and tell you that they are better than you, that they are smarter than you, that they have all the answers, I would be very cautious about that. Okay? Intentionally or unintentionally, I don't think that they would be coming from the right place. Any teacher or mentor is only there to assist you in being able to find your power within. They would never want you to see them as more powerful than you see yourself. Any good teacher is going to want you to recognize your divinity and step into your power. That's unity consciousness. That's, each person standing in their own divine light and bringing that which God has put in them out into the universe, and having an absolute mutual reverent honor and respect for the other individual. And that's not what we see in certain cases, unfortunately. And this is something that can bleed over in many different areas of your life, in business, not just in religion or in spirituality, but in, we can place people in business above us. We can, place somebody in a relationship with us above us. We can put people on pedestals and think that they know more than us. And that's actually exactly the opposite of what the twin flame journey is trying to teach you. True twin flames, and I'm not saying that a twin flame that is misled isn't a true twin flame. What I mean is true twin flames are on a journey that is meant to teach you that all the power that you seek outside of yourself is actually already contained within you. All of the love, the joy, the information and knowledge, is all actually contained within you. And there's no need to seek it outside of yourself. That will always actually end in disappointment because you're looking for it in the finite world rather in the infinite divine within yourself, where you are connected to all of that. So, be careful, you guys out there, okay? Be careful. Let's get into this reading. This is a clarity reading today for the Divine Feminine to give you some insight into your twin flame dynamic and your spiritual journey right now from your perspective, okay? So this first card here is, what is your biggest fear and or distraction? What is your biggest fear and or distraction? Okay. And for this we have, I should also tell you, we have the Devil at the bottom of the deck, okay? Devil at the bottom of the deck. And with the Devil at the bottom of the deck, we have addiction, greed, materialism, envy. Those are all things that are outside of us, kind of like what we were talking about in the lead up to this reading, that are like false senses of hope, false things that we put our time and our attention and energy into that don't have our best interests. They're not for our highest good, things that can pull us in the wrong direction. So there is an air of caution, I think, in this card saying, don't be misled by the ways of the world, okay? By traditions, by other people's opinions, by, just the way that society has taught you as a whole to think and function. Instead, wake up and become your own creator and recognize that there is divinity within you and that you being here is no accident and that there is something special within you that needs to be brought out into this world, okay? So again, this first card is, what is your biggest fear and or distraction? And for this, we have 6 of Wands in reverse. So with 6 of Wands in reverse, failure, you may have some failure patterns of I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to do this. I can't make this happen. There's no way that I could ever be good enough to accomplish this. Other people are better at this than me. You might have an inner dialogue and some internal representations from past experiences in your life that make you feel unworthy or that you're not capable of accomplishing what you really truly are passionate about in life. And there are lots of things around you that distract you from putting the time and energy and your essence into what you were meant and what your soul was meant to bring into this world. And this is what the twin flame journey wakes us up to, okay? You hear about union and stuff like that, or being with your twin flame. You're already with your twin flame. And you're already in union with your twin flame because they are you. You are them. It is one and the same at the level of the soul. So union is inner union, and it's that balancing, it's inner harmony, okay? Not forcing and controlling and expecting and judging. It's beyond that. And this journey is meant to teach you to go within and realize that all that you seek outside of you is already within you, including your twin flame. Including your twin flame. It's not something you need to find outside of you. Okay? It's meant to guide you within. This is a journey within, not without. Everything outside of you falls into place when you first start focusing on the source. It's like a mirror, right? Like it's like a mirror where, you know, you are looking in the mirror and the reflection is real, right? Like this, you know, recording of my hand, it's real, but it's actually not. Like you're looking at a pre-recorded video of my hand right now. Is that pre-recorded video real? Is that image real? Yes, but it's not the source, right? It's not the source. And so when you're looking in a mirror and you're seeing the reflection is real, but it's not the source. It's not real. So if you want to change the reflection, you can't like sit there and try to manipulate the mirror. You could break the mirror 1,000 times and you'd still have 1,000 reflections of the same thing. How do you change the reflection in the mirror? By recognizing the source, and you can go and change the source and then you get a different reflection in the mirror, right? Same thing with life. That is it, you guys. That's one of the best analogies about spiritual awakening and stepping into your power and recognizing your, like, this is what the twin flame journey is about. Okay? It's not a romantic, it's beyond that. Is there romance involved? Yes, there is. Obviously, you experienced that, but it's so much bigger and so much greater than that. Okay? It's so much more than that. It's about you recognizing your divinity and waking up to your divinity. Okay? So don't be afraid to bring in you what's in you out into this world. We desperately need it. Okay? You're no mistake. You were not created by mistake. Our Creator doesn't make mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. And you're no mistake. There's something extraordinarily special that only you can bring into this world. No one else can. Only you. Where to focus instead. Okay, this next card is where to focus instead. And for this, we have 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Focus on a new job. Focus on your home. Focus on feelings of like what you want. Don't ruminate in old thoughts and old patterns of grief and sorrow. Look at them. Learn presence. Okay? Learn mindfulness. Be the watcher, the witness. Okay? And we can help you more with that. Go read Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. Okay? And be the witness, you know, learn to respond rather than react. There's a big difference. One's conscious and one's unconscious. Okay, so put your, there's also another book called The Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. Put your attention on what you want, not what you don't want. Notice what you don't want because it's still valuable to know what you don't want. But put your attention on what you do want and believe in yourself. Don't let fear hold you back. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. And knowing what I know, I can't not believe in you because I know that you are a divine spark of God. Okay? You are. How do I know that? Because I figured out that I was. And now I can see around my own ego, which means I can see past the ego of others. And I know that you're a divine spark of God. Okay, that spirit that flows through me and gives me life is the same spirit that flows through all things and gives all things life. We are connected at that level. All right, so this next card is past experiences to let go of. Queen of Cups in reverse. You may have known or have felt like certain circumstances in your life caused you to maybe either be kind of a smothering person, like a codependent in a relationship, or maybe you kind of attract those that are codependent in relationships. Not just romantic relationships, but friendships as well, and relationships with family members. There could be a lot of insecurity, and I see addiction coming up again in this card as well. And so an addiction can mean lots of things, you guys. We can be addicted to our own thoughts. We can be addicted to patterns of behavior. We can be, we think of addiction as drugs, right? And alcohol and, coffee, caffeine, cigarettes, things like that. And those are things that we can get addicted to. They are things outside of us that once we ingest, they can cause us to be addicted to them. But it's the pattern that creates the addiction. And then, the physical phenomenon that we experience is also what creates that. And we can have addictions to other people. We can have addictions to habits. We can have addictions to perceptions, because those things also release chemicals within us. So it can be on a physical and a mental level that we have these addictions. And they can be sometimes hard to spot because it's not something that we would necessarily look at as an addiction. So those are things to be the witness of, take notice of, and then release and let go. Don't put your attention there anymore. Recognize the shadow, alchemize it, and that's how you integrate it. And then it is overshadowed by the light, right? The light destroys that shadow. It dissipates as soon as the light of awareness is brought to it. Once you know, you can't unknow. And even if the pattern tries to resurface, and even if it seems like it kind of catches for a second, you're going to recognize it. You're going to see it. And then you're going to become more and more efficient at doing that over time. Okay. So this next card is about useful past experiences. Okay, we're talking about things that don't serve you well and letting them go. And then we're going to talk about some of the things that do serve you well. So we have 7 of Swords in reverse here. 7 of Swords in reverse. Now, there's these experiences that are sometimes like negative. Like we could look at this card and go, well, these experiences, they were negative. And they didn't serve me well. Well, that's true. They don't serve you well in the sense of like practicing them and keeping them in your life, but they did serve you well still nonetheless, because knowing what doesn't serve you well is extremely beneficial, right? It's a huge lesson learned. So there's benefit in that. That's taking lead and turning it into gold, recognizing that this lower base experience has a higher elevated purpose. Okay, and so in that we can like change the way that we view our past. We can change the way that we view people who might seem like adversarial forces in our life. We can take experiences like getting fired from a job and realize that maybe that's just the universe's way of closing the door on something that didn't serve us well, so that it can open a door on something that does serve us well now. Because you're an ever-changing, growing person, right? Like you're a soul that is expanding and growing and learning and maturing on all the different planes, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. So you are learning alchemy, inner alchemy, okay? The Philosopher's Stone, the Holy Grail, okay? That is what you are learning. And it's this twin flame journey that wakes us up to that, okay? That's the power of this journey, you guys. It's what it's really meant for. Now, this next card is what to cultivate, okay? What do we want to cultivate in our lives? Page of Pentacles. Patience. Putting our attention through mindfulness on what we really, truly want to cultivate and bring into our lives. Recognizing that work isn't bad, right? Especially hard work. We seem to want to avoid hard work sometimes, but there's so many benefits that come with it. Like, for example, exercising. It's hard to exercise, but the health benefits that come from that in the long run make our lives easier. So even in the temporary moment, it seems hard, but in the long run, it makes it easy. And so when we think, oh, this is hard, I don't want to do this, well, actually, in the long term, not doing it is actually a lot harder. So that can kind of change our perspective on like hard work. Also, working hard to build a business or to invest in a relationship or to get over an addiction or any of these things, they can be hard at first, but in the long run, they make things easier over time. Not doing it is actually harder. And that was a lesson that I learned kind of early on. I had a job at Togo's in California. It was like my first job. And I was kind of a lazy teenager. And I would go to work and I was like working really hard to look like I wasn't working. And I didn't realize that I was working so hard to look like I was working, but not actually working. And so I had a lot of stress and anxiety when I'd be at work, and my boss would walk in. I'd start like cleaning all of a sudden, and like trying to, catch up. And I kept getting behind, and then I'd be really stressed out and I couldn't catch up. And my boss was getting disappointed in me. And suddenly one day it clicked and I was like, I am working twice as hard at not working. And it was like this huge moment of like this epiphany. And I still struggled with things with that in the same area, because even though I had that moment of enlightenment about it, I still didn't realize all the patterns that had developed with having that kind of attitude. And it took years and time for me to really kind of overcome all those obstacles that were there from this deeply rooted perspective of, trying to avoid work. I didn't realize how much more work it was to not work. Hopefully you guys can see the irony in that. But invest in yourself, you guys. Invest in yourself. There's nothing more important, honestly, in your universe than you. And that doesn't mean like, oh, we're more important than other people. No, we recognize our divinity. And so we recognize the divinity in others as well. And we know that they're just as important. But for you, you're the center of your universe, and I'm the center of mine. And, my kids are the center of theirs, and our parents, are the center of their own. And we help each other because, we recognize the divinity and that divine spark and the universe within others. And we're co-creators here together. But you got to invest in yourself, right? Like, you got to recognize how important you are. Don't elevate anyone above you, okay? Going back to what we were talking about early on, this is what I mean. Like, don't elevate anyone above you, okay? Reverence and respect when you can. I'm going to talk about that for a second. We can have reverence and respect for everyone, even those that are not following their highest path, because we can recognize that even them have a divine spark within them. But they're just lost right now, and they're going through those harder periods of time, learning hard lessons. They're in density, right? So we can love them, but not condone what they're doing, and also not spend time on them and not waste energy on them, okay? Because that's how they learn. If we try to cater and, make it easy for those that are not trying for themselves, then we enable them and we just keep them in a place of being stuck, right, of lower density, and they pull us into that abyss with them. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is recognize their divinity and trust that God will help them get out of whatever mess they're in, but instead turn your focus onto you. And when you're able to help others and you have that inspired, action, and you can, then do it, because it feels good. And often in helping others, we elevate ourselves, but we have to know where that balance is. We have to have that discernment. And that comes from cultivating that connection that you have to the divine source, being your own master, okay? Trusting yourself and your own intuition, okay? Following that inner light that's within you and let that guide you. So this next card is, what are your next steps? With your next steps, you have 6 of Cups. You are going to have some reunions coming up with friends, family members, maybe even your twin flame. And that is because as you recognize the divine source within you, the reflection is going to change. And sometimes healing takes place. You know, the relationships are brought to you in a certain way in order to facilitate, you know, something new, right? In order to be able to do something differently than you were before. It gives us opportunity. It can show us sometimes when these relationships come back in areas that we may still need to work. It can help us to refine, you know, what we're witnessing on our inner journey about who we are and how we relate to the world as souls and as conscious creators. So you may have your twin flame come back in at this point, and you may also have some old soulmates, some old friends, some, you know, some old issues that come up and arise. It's going to be like a presentation of, and this is going to happen on multiple levels, you guys, not just in relationships, not just with your twin flame, not just with people, but like old things, old patterns that maybe you thought you had already kind of worked through and put to rest are going to come back in and give you opportunity to refine them and to see them with more clarity and to see like a fullness in the lessons that are there. Okay. So those are your next steps that you're going to be kind of facing. And this happens because a lot of personal growth has taken place within you, Divine Feminine. This next card right here is your inner strength. Okay. This next card is your inner strength. And for this, we actually have the Tower. So you've experienced unwanted change. You've felt like things in your life just fell apart and were ruined. You felt maybe disgraced at times or harmed or like a victim to the world. Maybe you even experienced being like, you know, like abused and having like been physically harmed in some way by others. You've gone through mental abuse and things like that have really hurt you. And that is not something that is easy to overcome. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's just the truth. Like these are the things that have been brought to you in ways to show you how strong you actually are and how much you can actually overcome. And it's giving you wisdom. Okay, it's the dark and the light that brings us wisdom. Okay, it really, really is. And growing pains, when you're growing up, they hurt, they're painful, but they help you grow and mature and help your body to expand and to grow and to become, you know, a beautiful adult. And it's the same thing in your spiritual world and in your mental world. You know, relationships bring joy, but they can also hurt. But it's both sides of the coin that there is value, right? A coin has value regardless of what side it lands on. It's still a valuable coin. And so you're learning through these experiences who you really are, what the world is really all about, and how you can overcome just about anything. And that's changing your perspective, which is wonderful. Okay, this last and final card here is outside help and advice. You know, who could you go to? What kinds of situations can you go to for advice? And this card we have 2 of Swords, but it's in reverse. Anytime you're feeling confusion, indecision, maybe you don't feel like you had all the information, you know, you're not quite sure what path to take. This is the time to go within, and that doesn't mean information will come to you from, synchronicities and, people that just may randomly say something that means something, even if they don't know that what they said meant something to you. Those are things that are divinely inspired by God, okay? By the universe. Again, the same spirit that flows through me is the same spirit that flows through all things. The same spirit that flows through you is the same spirit that flows through all things. Okay? We're all connected at that level. And so everything outside of you is meant to teach you something. But if we rely on that only without inner discernment, then we can get lost in the maze, right? And that's when we go through dark night of the soul and we, things kind of fall apart in these tower moments. And it's to teach us that it's the inner light that we have that is our guide. That's our true compass. That's our true north. That comes from your heart. Okay? That's your intuition. It's your soul within you. That's the connection on the divine spiritual plane that connects you to all of life, to the creator that you were created in the image of. And so go within, okay? Seek the answers that you're looking for outside of you from within. And even if the information comes from outside of you, use that inner discernment. You'll know. Trust that. The universe is going to give you a whole bunch of experiences that are going to help you to hone in on your intuition and to tap into your divinity and let that be your guiding light. Okay? All right. Let's pull an oracle card for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. I am always so honored by the awesome comments and just the support that we get from all of our students. And you guys, we do have some specials right now. I'll have those linked in the description box below, but we have 40% off of all tarot readings, as well as 25% off of our personal coaching one-on-one calls. So if you've been wanting to do that, you want to talk to one of the coaches. I am a certified life coach, and I am an NLP practitioner, and I would love the opportunity to be able to help you on your journey and to kind of just teach you what I've learned as a life coach for Twin Flames over the past 4 years. Just to share that knowledge with you, and then you can take from it what resonates. Okay, because again, you are your own master. And this card fell out, so this is the one we're going with. Your effortless effort is fully required. Let's see what this has to say. I like it when they're numbered. Some of my oracle decks are not numbered, and it takes me forever to find something in the book. So I'm glad this one is. I like this oracle deck right here. I just got it, and I think it's so cool. So, all right. Your effortless effort is fully required. Huh? You might say, it's a complete paradox, right? How can you provide your effortless effort? As you play with the cosmic concepts you encounter in this oracle, you'll start to develop a sense of when to push and when to just allow. There's a dance of action and surrendering, of doing and being. By putting your full heart and 100% effort into something, you actually win. Putting in the work, if it's from a true place of meaning, is itself your reward. It's only the attachment to results that creates disappointment, frustration, depression, etc. Think about it. When you have expectations and they aren't met, you're upset, right? And if you're waiting on outside praise or recognition, you're always beholden to it. By having no attachment, you are free. Your full effortless effort is also required because we're all in this together. What is called for now is a solution for everyone, every sentient being, every stakeholder on the planet. When is the last time you have felt in a state of flow and effortless effort? For the next 24 hours, put your full effortless effort into one project and record what happens. I like this for you guys in this reading because we talked a little bit about, work and how in the beginning it can seem like we're putting in a lot of effort, but then in not doing it and thinking that not doing it is a good solution, we actually make things harder for us down the road. And when we have like a deeper understanding of how things work in this universe, we recognize that because we are in duality, there is a constant balancing act that we are like trying to stay within. That's what every sage and guru and everything throughout history that has made a difference in a positive way would say to you, okay? That's the balance in between that creates nirvana and samadhi. And, it's that middle path. But it's that inner discernment that we've talked about so much that helps you recognize when to push and when to just relax, when to take action and when to just allow. And I guess when to be the doer and when to just be. We can get so caught up in the doing sometimes that we forget about the being, which means we get caught up in the reflection and we forget about the source. So I want you guys to just take some time to maybe meditate on that and kind of think about how that applies to your situation. And it's the mind that always makes us feel like we need to do more. But the soul is already in control and already has the reins. So we can, at that point, reassure the mind to just relax and allow. And just trust and have faith. Trust your journey, you guys. Have faith in it. Have faith in yourself. Okay? And then remember, you are that divine connection to Source, to God. And be grateful for that. Okay? That's where you can seek information, validation, and understanding. Your connection to God comes from within you, not without. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.